Welcome back, third grade scientists. Today, we are going to talk some more about adaptive technology. The last time we spoke, we looked at some adaptive technology that can be used in schools and other places for people with impairments in vision and hearing. Today, we're going to look at adaptive technology to help individuals who have mobility disabilities or impairments. These are some exciting technologies and I'm going to teach you all about them. So let's get going. So let's just do a quick review of what adaptive technology is. Adaptive technology are special versions of already existing technologies or tools that provide enhancements or different ways of interacting with the technology. The adaptation helps people with a disability or impairment to accomplish a task. And remember, technology does not have to just be electronic or computerized. Technology is anything that was invented to solve a problem. So today we're actually going to look at some technology that's not computerized or electronic. These are some examples of adaptive technology for mobility. Here you see an adaptive bicycle and an adaptive stroller. Let's explore these technologies. The adaptive bicycle. Well, you know, and I'm sure you also love to get outside and get some exercise. Riding a bike is a very fun and popular outdoor activity, but not everyone can ride a traditional bike like this one. Some people have disabilities that keep them from being able to balance or pedal a bike like this. However, inventors have worked really hard and created adaptive bikes, and they are a great solution to allow users of all abilities to experience riding a bicycle. Adaptive bicycles are bikes that are modified to fit the needs of an individual rider. Anyone with a disability or injury that affects balance or motor function is an ideal candidate for an adaptive bicycle. Here you see an example of one, but we're on the next slide, we're going to take a look at some different types of adaptive bicycles. First, we have what's called the recumbent bike. A recumbent bike is one where the rider is seated in a reclining position and they have an extra wheel for stability, and they come in two different types. This is an example of a Delta recumbent bike. Delta trikes have two wheels in the back and one wheel in the front. The front wheel does the steering and the pedaling powers, one or both of the back wheels. Delta trikes are great because they're easy to get on and off of because they're super low to the ground. They're easy to maneuver, and they have a fairly tight turning radius, which means it's easy to turn the bike and get it through places, down the street, turn a corner. Some Delta trikes can be linked together, allowing for extra stability and security for riders who may not be able to safely ride on their own. Typically, Delta trike seats are higher than tadpole trikes, which adds to the ease of mount and dismount. In other words, it's easier to get on and off of. But another type of recumbent bike is called the tadpole bike. Here's an example of a tadpole. Tadpole trikes have two wheels in the front and one wheel in the back, so almost the opposite. The steering is done by both front wheels and the pedals power the single rear wheel. This configuration provides more turning stability at higher speeds and does involve a larger turning radius than Delta trikes. In other words, they need more room to make a turn. The seats are often situated lower in a tadpole, making them a sportier choice, but they can be more difficult to get on and off of. On average, though, tadpole trikes are lighter weight, faster, and more stable at higher speeds than Delta trikes. And they're often the choice of more serious distance riders. So people who are really serious about their bikes and want to take them on a long ride, they may choose the tadpole recumbent bike. But there are others. For instance, we also have the tandem bike, and tandem bikes are built to be ridden by more than one person. Oh, and kids trikes. Let's look at those first. Kids trikes are for kids that adapt to individual mobility challenges. So Trikes for Kids can adapt to their mobility challenges. They have 3 wheels for stability and pedals and handlebars that can adjust as kids grow. These special need bikes provide kids with disabilities a way to get out and play and increase their muscle strength. And sometimes they can even be double as a push buggy, where you see this long handle coming up from the top, where an adult can push the bike if the child gets tired or is unable to pedal for some reason. Tandem bikes. Let's get back to the tandem bike. Tandem bikes are built to be ridden by more than one person. Why is that important? Well, a tandem bike is what we call a bicycle built for 2. So one rider is the pilot, the person handling the steering, as well as half of the pedaling. And the other rider is the stoker. In other words, they only pedal and don't steer. Tandem bikes are ideal for individuals who may not be able to handle cycling on their own. The most common configuration for a tandem bike in the sport, the most common configuration for a tandem bike is to have the pilot in the front and the stoker at the wheel, at the rear. But here you can see in this unique tandem bike, right? We have the pilot in the back and the stoker in the front. This is almost like a recumbent bike has been added on top of this tandem bike. Perfect for anybody with a disability who wants to go out for a nice bike ride. And finally, we have hand cycles. Hand cycles are powered by your hands and arms rather than your feet. These are good for individuals who are unable to use their legs to power a bike. And it's a wonderful solution that provides the freedom of mobility in a fun and accessible way. Most hand cycles are 3-wheeled with a delta configuration, which means 1 wheel in the front, 2 wheels in the back. Braking, steering, and cranking are all done by hand, and the rider can use the power of his or her torso to propel him or her along. So if they're unable to power with their legs, a hand cycle is perfect for this type of rider. So here you can see there are many types of adaptive bicycles that give individuals with all kinds of impairments, injuries, and disabilities the ability to enjoy a bicycle ride. Now let's take a look at the adaptive stroller. An adaptive stroller is a specially modified stroller you can use for special needs children, infants, and even adults. These amazing inventions allow riders to get outside and have fun, and they also help them with social opportunities. The most common conditions for individuals that might require the use of an adaptive stroller are children with cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, or spine injury. The strollers are designed for bigger children, right, to use, for them to be held in a more stable way inside of the stroller. And here you see children making use of their adaptive strollers to get outside and participate in some fun activities like apple picking or going to the farm to feed horses. Possibly without these adaptive strollers, they would not be able to enjoy these activities so fully. They give more opportunity and more ease of use than a wheelchair. So these have been some amazing adaptive technology inventions for people with mobility impairments. So don't forget to celebrate inventors because they are our most important celebrities. This has been fun exploring some more adaptive technology with you. Good luck this week on your unit assessment in Unit 5, Human Senses and Movement. I have no doubt you'll do a great job and use this video as a study tool and a resource. Good luck, third grade scientists.